It's my opinion that the ketogenic diet is the most dangerous lifestyle fad of the 21st century. And this is why many credible groups, including the Physicians' Committee for Responsible Medicine, advise people to avoid this kind of eating at all costs. Not only does it have short-term symptoms, such as keto flu, which includes nausea and vomiting and constipation and irritability and lack of libido, but long-term, there are countless risks, including dehydration and kidney stones, and cardiac arrhythmias. I even read 5 case reports of deaths in children who are having to follow a ketogenic diet for other reasons. Please avoid ketogenic diets for your own health for the future. As a child, I was always overweight, and then growing up, I didn't really think much about diet. I just ate what I ate, and I enjoyed the foods that I enjoyed. And things got out of control, I'd say, when I was in my early 20s. I knew that something had to be done. I was worried about having an early death like my grandfather had, and I wanted to change my life. I wanted to get back to fitness, and I wanted to feel good about my body. So I did some research, and I started off doing a low carbohydrate approach to eating. And this gave me some results for short-term weight loss. I was exercising a lot as well, and I got to peak physical condition, and I thought things are fantastic. But then I checked my blood profile. And what I found then was that I had a raised lipid profile, and this really shocked me. And knowing that I had a family history of heart disease, I felt, oh, maybe this is my fate. This is my genes. I can't change it. And I lived with that for quite a while. Then my father died suddenly whilst driving of a heart attack. And again, I knew that that was something that might happen to me after a certain amount of years, and I really wanted to try and make a difference to that risk. So I did some more research, and I found a whole food plant-based diet approach has helped thousands and thousands of people not only to lose weight, but also to reduce their lipid profiles and even reverse cardiovascular disease. So I thought, let's give it a try. So I did, and to my amazement, I had some incredible results. It was the only way of eating that helped me to reduce my lipid profiles, which is why I am so passionate about this. I mean, as I said, my father and my grandfather both died young, and I wanted to be able to have the chance to see my children and their children and maybe even their children grow up. And now I feel like I've got that chance. So when I started to eat a whole food plant-based diet, I really noticed a difference. I had increased energy levels, and crucially, I was also able to reduce my own lipid profile. This is something that I couldn't do with a low-carb approach. I tried it before and I'd failed. And that was really important to me personally, because I have a father and a grandfather who died suddenly from a heart attack. And I knew that just being healthy, just losing weight, just exercising was not going to reduce my personal risk of dying younger than I should. So when I was on a low carb diet for health, I was having a lot of fish, I was having a lot of chicken. I think a lot of people make that mistake. They think they're health foods, so they pile on the chicken and the fish and then have a little bit of salad on the side. I used to have my vegetables and my salads, but there was a lot of eggs, there was a lot of fish, and there was a lot of chicken. So this is a very different approach. You're going to be replacing those animal proteins with plant proteins in the form of things like lentils and chickpeas and all the different kinds of beans and legumes, just really enjoying those plant power goodness. So for me, a plant-based diet includes loads of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, chickpeas, lentils, black beans, oats. I just want to have a huge variety of plant foods for me and for my family. So what that looks like is, for example, my favorite evening meal is a lentil bolognese. It's so easy to make. I use a happy pear recipe from the book Recipes for Happiness. And all you have to do is bung in some onions, some garlic, a bit of celery and carrot to start with. You saute it. You add in a tin of chopped tomatoes, a tin of pre-cooked lentils, then you add in just over 1 litre of veg stock. Bung in the pasta as well, just chuck it all in the pan and let it cook. And then when it's ready, you just add in a little bit of extra nutritional yeast, maybe a little bit of soy sauce for a bit of an extra punch. And the kids love it, and I love it too. My favourite breakfast is my power pancakes, and they are so easy to make. You just have 3 cups of oats, you get 3 cups of soy milk, a banana, you whiz it all together, you fry it up in the pan, it's good to go. It's so easy. My favourite snack ideas are fruit. You've got to love fruit. It's pre-packaged by nature. It's got phytonutrients and fibre. It's so good for you. Other snacks which I like include things like celery sticks with almond butter. I love carrot sticks. I love hummus, baba ganoush and salsa. Great snack ideas. My favourite lunch is a bean burrito. I love doing that. It's basically a black bean recipe with guacamole, a bit of salsa, brown rice. Wrap it up. Perfect. Absolutely delicious. So I've seen a handful of patients that have taken on the keto diet craze, and in those patients I have noticed some emerging patterns. For those of them that can actually get through the initial symptoms of lethargy and tiredness and nausea and bad breath and constipation and low libido, the so-called keto flu, for those that actually manage to get it through that stage, they do see some short-term benefits. So they'll get some weight loss, they might get better control of their blood glucose, and they may even have a reduced lipid profile. And that can sometimes reinforce the diet changes for them until they start to run into problems. I have one patient in particular who had a rise in his cholesterol levels and his LDL cholesterol, his lipid profiles, even as he was losing weight. And I know that's a really well documented problem with a lot of low carb diets. And he unfortunately had that side effect. I also had another patient who just got really fed up with eating so much meat. He actually felt quite lacking in energy. And he just, it is a very restrictive diet. I think he just felt he wanted to try and bring in some more vegetables into his life. So overall, I'd say people have had some short-term results with it, but at the cost of long-term health. And I've seen that time and again. I've looked into studies myself, and I haven't managed to find any long-term benefit from keto in terms of studies. But what I have found is case reports of people with kidney stones and dehydration and cardiac arrhythmias. And I even found 5 studies that linked true ketogenic diet with death in children who are having to follow it for medical reasons. So it's definitely not something to take lightly. And as I said to my patients, why would you do this? Why would you carb count and have to do a urine test for ketones every day when you can just eat vibrant plant foods and stay well and lose weight and have an increased lifespan? It's a win-win. Whole food plant-based diets are so far superior to ketogenic diets for health outcomes. And the reason is you can lose weight effectively with a whole food plant-based approach, and you can improve your lifespan. If you just think about the foods that you're eating more of, you've got fruits, you've got vegetables, you've got whole grains, nuts, chickpeas, lentils, oats. These are all foods that have time and again been proven to improve longevity. So not only can you lose weight, but you can feel good and you can live a long life. There are just no downsides. That's the power of plants. I think as medical professionals, it's important to stick to the message of overall health. And Dr. David Katz at Yale got together the True Health Initiative, which was loads of different dietitians, nutrition experts and doctors from around the world. Some of them were paleo advocates, some of them were whole food plant-based, maybe some of them were keto. But what they all had in common was to say, let's cut out the processed junk food, let's cut out excess refined sugar and refined flour. And I think that we really need to stick to those basic messages to help people make healthier choices. I think you can get some benefits from a low carb approach if you are having a generally unhealthy diet. Of course, any improvement is a good improvement, but people need to understand that a whole food plant-based approach will give them maximal health benefits and minimal pain. They'll actually really enjoy the foods that they're eating and gain so much more for their body inside and out. Hopefully you'll find yourself an amazing dietitian or a nutritionist that can advise you on a healthy plant-based diet approach. Of course, there will be some dietitians and nutritionists who don't advocate for this. And what I can say is that, as doctors at medical school, we were taught to think critically about data. And I think that that's going to be important for you as well moving forwards in your health journey. So aim to partner up with people that can help you, who've read the research and who understand financial interests, who understand what people are really hoping to see when they do studies, bias. And when you've got someone that puts all those things together, it creates a far more accurate picture of health. Hi there, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got something out of it, please do press like and subscribe. My name is Dr. Gemma Newman, and I've teamed up with Plant-Based News and Dr. Neil Bernard from the Physicians Committee, and we've created 2 exciting vegan parenting courses, one on vegan pregnancy and the other on raising your child vegan. They are comprehensive, they contain over 50 modules, and I really urge you to check them out. So please do look at the link below if you're interested, or you know anyone else who might be. I hope to see you there.